Jaylen Hyatt over here because we got to talk about an article that I read here where Ed Valentine, a Big Blue View, got the chance to sit down and talk to Jalin Hyatt and got a lot of thoughts on him. He gave him a lot of time, and I give kudos to him on that because, let's be honest, he's been kind of an up and down career, to put it nicely, with the Giants.
Down and down.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice, mid and down. His rookie year wasn't so bad, minus the fact that he still hasn't gotten into the end zone. We literally had that conversation yesterday, and it's sad this was a topic we literally had. We're talking about how Elijah Chapman is taking reps as fullback, and we were joking around saying, "Who's going to score their first touchdown, Elijah Chapman or Jalin Hyatt?" Like that's a legit.
Andrew Thomas scored a touchdown before Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay, so
yeah.
It's not a hard question.
It's a legit question. So he was asked about, though, this offseason. He said about how his work ethic, and when he started going right back into work at the offseason, he said every day right after we got done from the season, I went to training. There were no breaks, just every day getting with my chef, getting the right calories every day, staying in the weight room every day, working. This is before training for the OTAs, before training for training camp. I got on it right at the end of the season. So that's key right there for him. I like that he understands the situation he's in. That's for sure. He says consistent on the field was always the same, but as far as consistent in the weight room, that's something I've done different. It was every day. I didn't go on vacation this year, strictly football. Like I said, he sees the boat he's in, guys. This is year 3 for the guy after not even hitting 200 yards his second year in the NFL here. And again, not even scoring a single touchdown in both years. Now, this is that year. You're going to make it or you're going to break it. And I know it's kind of cliche that people say all the time, but I'll tell you, whenever you look at the progression of players, year 3 is typically the year that you know what you got.
Yeah, I think that's the year where Andrew Thomas really started. I mean, he got better year 2, but he really took that big leap year 3. Dexter Lawrence, kind of a similar trajectory. He was good, but he started to really ascend when he got to year 3. So I agree. We need to see something out of Jalin Hyatt this year. The thing is, and I don't want to sound negative, and I hope he lights the world on fire. How much do the Giants really believe in Jalin Hyatt? That's what I ask myself, because the plan when they drafted Jalin Hyatt, in my opinion, at least, was clearly he's going to replace Darius Slayton long term. We're drafting this guy to replace Darius Slayton long term. Lo and behold, Darius Slayton becomes a free agent this year. They give him a 3-year deal, $12 million a year. That, to me, signified we're not sold on Jalin Hyatt anymore at this point. Now, things can change, and he's in a much better situation than he's ever been, right? I'm not trying to rag on Daniel Jones. I'm sure all the Giants podcasts are doing that at this point. He's with the Colts. I wish him nothing but the best. But let's be real. Russell Wilson is a much better deep thrower of the football than Daniel Jones is. That's pretty much his strength. He throws a beautiful deep ball. The way that it just drops into the bucket, you would think that if Jalin Hyatt could be good at one thing, it would be that, with his straight line speed. So I think he's in a much better situation than he's been before. I just don't know how much the targets will be there after they paid Darius Slayton, Malik Nabors, Theo Johnson. Obviously, we've got some guys in the backfield. Scadaboo, who I know we're going to talk about in a bit. Tracy, a former wide receiver in his own right who could catch the ball. So I just don't know how much of an opportunity will be there for Jalin Hyatt. But we all know as Giants fans, injuries come often with this team. So I'm sure at some point this year he'll get an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think his best case, to be very honest, is kind of what, you mentioned Slayton. What Slayton was a couple of years ago. Slayton was never the guy getting 10, 12 catches a game.
Yeah.
He was the guy going for 3 catches for 65 yards.
Yeah, maybe breaking 100.
Yeah, like that's the kind of hope that Hyatt has to have. Now, like you said, he's had a lot of downs there. They talk about handling adversity. He said it's definitely, I think, adversity, and I've been through adversity before. My sophomore year in Tennessee, I feel like I've been going through adversity since being here, year 1, year 2, and now going to year 3. But I think as far as with that, you can make the most of it. I kind of hate that he says year 1 was adversity for him.
Yeah,
like that shouldn't have been adverse. Like, again, 3rd round pick. I know some people had him as a 2nd round pick. There's even some people talking about late 1st round for him when he was coming in the draft.
I remember, there were mocks at least maybe with a month before the draft that had him as a late 1st round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all craziness when it happened because Rob and I said from the get-go, and I think we've been proven right what we said. He's a one-trick pony with speed. That's what he is. He's a 9-route guy that you're just going to try to outrun the corner. He can't get off the press. He doesn't do a lot of the routes in the NFL. He played a non-NFL system in Tennessee. It is what it is. Like, it's not knocking him. It's the honest truth of what the situation is. I do think there's potentially a role for him, but for him to go in year one and look at that and say adversity, like that wasn't a bad rookie year. That it makes me wonder kind of where he's at, like in his head. Like, was he expecting to light the world on fire, and did he get so?
I mean, in fairness, thinking about it from his perspective, and I agree with you. I think what he did in his rookie year as a fan is probably what you should have expected. He was a third-round pick. You don't really expect a third-round pick to make an immediate impact. We've been fooled before as Giants fans with guys like Ramses Barden. But for him, former Biletnikoff winner, that goes to the best wide receiver in collegiate football. He won that year. You look at some of the other winners, Devontae Smith, like all the other guys have been tremendously successful in recent years that have won that award. So thinking about it from that perspective, from his perspective, he may not have thought he was going to come out and have a Malik Nabors like rookie season, but he probably expected he was going to do more than what he did. But I agree. I wouldn't say it was a success his rookie year, but I didn't view it as a bad rookie year based off what I thought were realistic expectations for a third-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, 373 yards. I mean, again, that's not lighting the world on fire, like you said, and you're 100% right there. But if he thinks that's bad, he needs to talk to Charlie Ward, who won the Heisman Trophy and never even saw the NFL and had to play for the Knicks instead. I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse.
I take it you don't like the Knicks with that comment?
No, honestly. Here's the funny thing is I don't even watch anything of basketball whatsoever. I just remember that from my young days of Charlie Ward there, always in the starting.
That's in the back of your head for good sports trivia. Charlie Ward.
Yeah. I have all kinds of weird sports trivia. Here, I'll give you one real quick, and then we'll get to the next thing you said. Let's see if you know this. This was a minor league game. I'm going to give you that first.
So
Who won the first game as a pitcher in the Florida Marlins organization?
So in the history, so it was a minor league game.
A minor league game within the organization.
The first one game by a Marlin, but it happened to be a minor league game, is what you're telling me.
Yes, I'm going to give you.
Started in '93, if I'm not mistaken, along with the Rockies. It was either '92 or '93, so we're going way back.
Yeah.
Who was
I'm going to give you a hint to be nice.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame, but not for baseball.
Hall of Fame, and he won a minor league game. So that either means was he a minor leaguer? Oh, he's not in Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. Let me hear. Who?
John Lynch.
John Lynch, the safety?
Yes.
He pitched a minor league baseball game for the Marlins.
Minor league baseball game for the Marlins. He was this undecided at one point. Yeah,
I would have never got. I know. I mean, we've seen Russell Wilson played for the Yankees. He was on their minor league team. I would have never gotten that. That's a great trivia.
My head's full of weird knowledge. In order to take the damn garbage out, ask my wife. She'll tell you very clearly. Anyway, he mentioned more about as far as what he's been working on. He said, I think it made me train harder, made me work harder in the offseason, and now it's just for me to show my work, show what I've done going into a new season. It's a new year. It's a new season. So that's kind of how I look at it. And that part I do like. That's him with his head on right, if that's honestly what he thinks.
Yeah. I think the vibe around the team in general, not just with him, seems like it's much more positive. But of course you like to see that. He also looks like, he's still as thin as a rail, but he also looks like he put on at least some muscle. Yeah. So you could definitely tell that he put some work in the offseason. So I'm going to give him a shot. I'm rooting for him. I hope he does great. I just, without injuries, and we all know they will likely happen, I just don't see that he's going to get a ton of targets. But like you said, he may not necessarily need a ton of targets to have an impact on the football game. If he catches one or two deep balls for 40, 45 yards in a football game, those would be huge plays to turn the game. Like, if he's what John Ross was, and John Ross was obviously a flop. He was like a top 10 pick for the Cincinnati Bengals, but very similar, like a straight line speed guy, ran like a 4.2, whatever 40. Of course, had the 1 year with the Giants where he caught that long touchdown and did nothing else. But if he has a year like him when he was with the Bengals, I think he had a couple of 550, 600 yard seasons where he averaged 20, 22 yards per catch, has a couple big plays. I think most Giant fans would sign up for that right now this year. You hope he becomes more than that eventually, but if he could have a year like that, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. He talked about Russell Wilson also and Russell Wilson's beliefs. Anybody who's listened to Russell Wilson talk at all to the media this season since he's been signed on with the Giants, every single time he brings up Jaylen Hyatt. Every single time. He doesn't say that. That's right, Bob. He doesn't say that. Unlimited.
I mentioned Saquon, being like a politician when he speaks. In a good way, Russell Wilson comes across as a politician too. Like I was so impressed with his opening press conference. You're talking about a guy that's never played for this football team. He knew every guy in the roster. Coming in, it is a breath of fresh air between him and Daniel Jones. Not that I'm trying to pick on Daniel, but the way that he spoke to the media.
You pick on Daniel Jones now. I'm just saying.
The ahs,
Prolong.
He was not good when it came to me. Russell Wilson is incredibly polished when it comes to that.
I think he's overly polished, though. It's kind of like you said the Saquon thing before. He comes off as fake.
A little bit, yeah. But
it's almost the other side of the politician.
Weirdly in a good way, though. For me, at least.
Like, you ever work with that guy who's like overly smiley and overly happy all the time? And you just something don't trust about him. That's where I wonder, because you always hear about issues with Russell Wilson, at Seattle, at Denver, with some of the teammates and all. And I wonder, is Russell Wilson that guy that just smiles nonstop at work? You just don't trust him. They didn't get along well at all, right? From what I remember, there was a big breakup there. Yeah.
With Denver, there was, but you also have to that's revisionist history, if you will, because that really didn't come out until what's his face became the head coach over there, and it was Payton, and it's almost like a smear campaign because look what happened to him right away.
Yeah,
it was like
and they want money wise.
Yeah.
You did hear about things same thing as he was leaving with Seattle as well, and some of his old teammates even saying there was issues with him as well. So, who knows? Who knows? Like I said, none of us know him personally like that. I don't want to throw something out there and say he's a jerk or something like that. I'm not saying that. Though I've said multiple times The Rock is, but that's a whole separate thing. It's got the same vibe. No one's happy 24/7. Show me some real emotion. Show me that I'm actually getting the inside of who you are in your conversations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's part of the problems. And I think I have trouble trusting people like that. And I wonder if that's just what's going on with Russell Wilson. But that's a whole side thing, though.
Oh, you're probably right. And maybe I'm grading him on a curve because Daniel Jones was so bad with the media, and it was refreshing to have a guy as polished as he was. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, and that's why I led with he comes across as a politician. Well, most politicians, if not all, are phony. So it kind of goes hand in hand when you say that.
But it's like there's two of them. There's two types of politicians. The one that people think care about them, and the ones that off the bat that you're like, no, this guy just wants my vote. Like he comes off as this guy just wants my vote guy.
That's well said.
Yeah.
Well said. So does Saquon Barkley, by the way.
And again, I'm with you. I don't think a single politician cares about us whatsoever. I'll say it that way, point blank. Either side, no one cares about us. They have us fighting amongst ourselves to distract from the real problems. But when it boils down to it, that's how he comes off to me. And like I said, I wonder if that's part of the problem. Again, that's a side thing, though. But he did talk about him, and he said the day that Russell Wilson signed, he said, he called me, tells me he watched my film, tells me how great a player I can be, and what he's going to bring to this room. When you have someone like Russ who's done it for a while, who's been experienced, who's been to the playoffs, who's been to the Super Bowl, who's been playing at a high level, come and say that, hey, I've seen all your films, seen what kind of player you can be and what type of player you will be, just brings a spark, brings extra motivation for myself, extra confidence. And that's the part we love about Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I got to bring it
forward. If it inspires others through his phoniness, like crooked politicians, we're happy.
Yeah. Listen, Jimmy Hoffa had a big falling for a while. Just saying, he spoke well.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe, that's what's happening. Like you said, he's just motivating in a fake politician way. Like somehow, like Jaylen Hyatt is our paper straws or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just
if it gets him to play good, that's great.
Can't hurt.
Yeah.
Can't hurt to have a kid a little confidence. And again, he followed it up, though, because he did mention every single press conference he'd find a way to slip Jaylen Hyatt in. Like, I swear if, like, he had forgotten to mention Jaylen Hyatt, he would have ran back to the podium. Oh, sorry, guys, forgot Jaylen Hyatt. And, like, ran back off.
It's like let's ride. Turn around. Hyatt.
Yeah. That's
right.
right.
Also got to think about, too, like, what kind of, like, chess is Russ playing here? Because, like, if you want to win over the locker room, let's say Hyatt was probably not the guy that was on your card that you want to win over, because everyone's probably thinking that he's gone. The way he's played, like, rookie year, he's gone. And he's probably a sour guy in the locker room. But if you can win that guy over, you can win over the whole locker room. Like, he's that guy that's like, oh, no matter what you do, he's the guy that you're not going to win over. Now look at him talk about it.
You just answered right there, because that's what it is. He went after the guy who was seen as.
That's why I was bringing that point up.
Yeah, but he went after the guy that point blank was probably one of the least happy in the locker room. You're right, and it totally changes the locker room. Politician. Exactly. Now he did also mention Dart. He said, "I love Dart. We connected on day 2. I'm pretty sure in training camp, just before I went down, on a little back shoulder that he threw to me." He said, in the huddle, he told me he was throwing me the ball. Just hearing that trust, hearing him say that in the huddle, I'm going to throw you the ball here. It just brings you extra motivation, extra confidence, especially from a quarterback that wants to get you the ball. And he's going to be a great player. I got to say, out of all the things I'm reading here on Hyatt and what he's saying, my biggest thing I'm taking away here is this kid had a confidence issue.
Big time.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He definitely got beaten down his first 2 years in the league, and hopefully, with all the hard work and people propping him up, he takes a big step this year. We'll find out. But yes, I definitely think his confidence was lacking, as would most players, based off the first 2 years he's had in the NFL.
Yeah, we definitely to have him as even a fourth receiver doing, like you said, a couple catches, 40 yards, whatever, like. That'd be huge for this offense.
That's what's crazy when we talk about how he's the fourth wide receiver. Not just the wide receiver. When you look at this team as a whole, and by no means, as we talked about pre-show, am I going to come out and say I think this team's going to the playoffs and that they're going to do miraculous things? But when you look at the depth chart on this roster, this is by far the best depth they've had on a roster.
Oh yeah,
in years. You look at position by position, you're like, oh. The depth's pretty good there. And the wide receivers are, one of those positions. But every position on the roster, you compare the roster now to when Joe Shane and Dable took the job, which is ironic because they actually made the playoffs that year. But just looking at it in terms of depth overall, this is a pretty deep roster, at least in comparison to other Giants rosters. It's not deep compared to the Philadelphia Eagles, but in comparison to other Giants rosters, it's the deepest roster we've had in a while. And that goes back to good drafting in recent years by Shane.
Yeah, like you make a good point. Like, we had to pick up Isaiah Hodgins to go to the playoffs, who was literally getting cut, not even traded or anything from Buffalo. Like, just here you go, take him. Like,
another practice spot. He wouldn't get had him at any point.
Yeah. So. But, I mean, just think about, like, what Eli would do to have a roster wide receiver room like this.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, like I said, every position. Quarterback, Jameis Winston's our third-string quarterback. Like,
yep.
Running back. I mean, I think we're pretty deep there. I like our running back duo there. We actually have a decent swing tackle now with Hudson. Evan Neal, if he could become a solid guard, could be good depth at that position. So I just feel like we have a lot more depth than we've had in a long time on this Giants team.
Yeah, and it's funny with the Eli thing too, because like I hate, and I've said it many times, I hate all the references people are giving Abdul Carter to Micah Parsons. But I'll throw the comparison point blank. If you had a quarterback like Eli with Nabors, he's OBJ.
I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah.
If not,
I know it's the easiest comparison to make because of where he played, the number he wore. I don't care. It's what I see. When I watched him last year at Penn State, I remember watching that Notre Dame game. I actually live streamed that game. I was with Bad Dog when I was watching. I'm like, this dude is Micah Parsons. Like I know like that's like the obvious comparison to make because of where he played and everything, but I don't know.
I get the comparisons 100%. I just don't like putting the pressure on the kid. I want him to.
I agree, but I think he's going to be able to take it. I think he's that good, man. I think he's that good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.